moment, but I'm going to make a start anyway, and other people can catch up. So welcome, Radiant Soul. I am Jackie. I'm the founder of Twin Perceptions, and tonight I'm speaking not just as an aromatherapy practitioner, but as a woman walking through the menopause herself. There is a lot to talk about, and I'm currently feeling quite mentally drained after a long day at work. So I have prepared myself some notes to assist me in conducting this live session this evening. So do please bear with me while I go through my prompts to assist me in providing a useful, informative and engaging session today. Good evening, lovely to see you this evening. Thank you very much for joining. Just starting off now. I've just come off a long shift. My body's aching and my energy is low, but I chose to be here because this topic matters. We deserve support, softness and sacred tools, and I'm hoping that that's what I'm going to provide for you this evening. So in today's live, I'll be discussing topics that some may consider taboo, things we're often taught to feel ashamed or embarrassed about. This is a safe place. You are free to let your guard down. Nothing shared here will be spoken about outside this session. If you ever want to talk privately, you're welcome to DM me, and I'll hold that space with care and confidentiality. Nothing will ever be repeated outside our conversations. I treat conversations with the strictest of confidentiality. So let's begin with breath. Inhale peace. And exhale pressure. I invite you to light a candle, and I'm going to light mine now. My candle is for my twin Jen, who's with me in spirit, and I invite her into this space with us this evening to join us and to share her spiritual wisdom with me. She is always with me, but I always like to welcome her in because she's very much part of Twin Perceptions. And I'm just going to put this somewhere safe. So you can place your hand on your heart. You can mist your favourite blend if you've got one, and simply say, I am held. Do drop a flower in chat if you're showing up for yourself tonight. I'd love to know how many women, or even men actually, who are here to support their partners. I'd like to know who we've got here that's actually here to learn complementary therapies that can help with the menopause. Hello Lorraine, lovely to see you. Right, so let's start by clearing the fog. Myth. Menopause is the end. Truth. It's a rebirth. A shedding of old cycles. A gateway to deeper intuition. Myth. You just have to suffer through it. The truth is there are tools. There's natural, supportive and soulful that can help, as well as what you've already been trying. So what myths have you personally heard about with regards to menopause? Is there anything that you've heard that you think, is that true? Maybe it's not true. Maybe people are just saying it to get me off guard. Have any of you found anything like that? Hi Aaron, lovely to see you. I can see lots of you dropping in. It's really nice for you to drop in today. We are talking about the menopause, so if it's a subject that doesn't interest you, I really don't mind if you drop back out again. It's not for everybody. I know it is mainly for women, but I do welcome men as well, because obviously you may have a partner that's going through the menopause, and you may think that there's something in this live today that can help you to help them because as much as men need women's support, women needs men's support too. Okay, so I can see lots of you dropping in. Lovely to see you. Hello, Margaret. Hello, Shahina. So menopause isn't just hot flushes. It can show up in ways that feel confusing, isolating, or even frightening. So here's a fuller list of symptoms that you or your partner may experience. Good evening to everybody that's dropping in. We've only just started, so please do get yourself comfortable, grab a drink, light a candle if you want to. I've got mine lit just behind me. So we're going to go through the symptoms. You've got physical symptoms, which consist of fatigue, acne, weight gain, osteoporosis, palpitations, muscle aches, joint pain, sensitive teeth, painful gums, and reoccurrent UTIs. They're just some of the symptoms that you can experience during the menopause. Good evening to everybody that's just dropped in. Hi, Marie. Okay. Neurological symptoms can consist of brain fog, which I covered in one of my lives earlier this week. I did a live about fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue and brain fog. So if you'd like to look at that after we finish today, you're more than welcome to do so. I cover in more depth things that can help with the brain fog. Headaches and or migraines are also quite common with the menopause. And then you've got your emotional symptoms like depression, panic disorders, mood swings, and then your sleep symptoms like insomnia and restful sleep. Changes in your skin. So you may find that your skin is dry, or you may find that your skin is itchy. Personally, I found that because I'm currently going through the menopause, I've experienced very itchy skin, and it can be very frustrating. It sometimes feels like you've got something crawling on you. You just have to scratch it. It's frustrating. So there are oils that can help with that as well. Changes in the texture of your or your tone. As you go through the latter stages of your cycles, you'll notice that you get age spots and things as well, and your skin's not quite as tight as it used to be, and you notice gels coming. That's all part of the aging process. On the sexual side of things, you may find that you've got a reduced sex drive or other symptoms that you weren't expecting. Mouth discomfort, gum sensitivity. And then on the hormonal side, you've got things like irregular cycles, sudden bleeding, breast tenderness. All of these are symptoms of the menopause. Everybody's experience is different. You may have many of these symptoms, or you may have none at all. If you're one of the lucky souls who breezes through this phase, I celebrate you. But if you're struggling, please know you're not alone. You're not broken. You are just transitioning, because that's what this is. We're just transitioning from one stage of our life into the next. And one of the benefits, I suppose, if you think about it, is not having to buy pads every month or tampons every month, because you won't need them anymore. That's a good thing, right? You'll be saving money, not having to buy those. So which symptoms, if you're currently going through the menopause, which symptoms have surprised you most? Please do comment. We can have a little chat about it, and we can talk about the symptoms. We've got Lorna who's dropped in, Mr. M, Scott, who else have we got? Rosa and Pickle. Lovely to see you all this evening. Thank you for dropping in. And I'll ask again, if you're actually going through the menopause, which symptoms have surprised you most? Let's try and get this chat going a little bit. I can see lots of you dropping in now. It's lovely to see you. If you're still typing, that's fine. We can always come back and review your comments in a little bit. Good evening, Laura. Lovely to see you this evening. Good evening, Josh, Falani. Good evening, Adana, Lucian. So GP consultation and aromatherapy safety. Aromatherapy is powerful, but it's not a fit for everyone. Okay, so sub-essential oils do have contraindications. Now, what I mean by that is if you've got certain medical conditions, some essential oils are not suitable for you. For instance, if you've got high blood pressure, you should not use rosemary essential oil with high blood pressure. So if you're on medication or you have chronic conditions or you're pregnant, which you're unlikely to be if you're going through the menopause, but just in general, you should always speak to a doctor before using essential oils or having aromatherapy. As I've said in my other sessions, if you're consulting an aromatherapy practitioner, they will always get a background of your medical conditions first before recommending any blends or oils to you. If they haven't done that, ask yourself. You need to ask why, because that's a red flag. With aromatherapy, it's important to know your client's information to make sure that you are making informed decisions and that you are recommending blends and oils that are suitable for them personally. And each person is different, so what blend works for you might not work for another person. So I always recommend speaking to your GP before using essential oils, especially if you believe you're experiencing perimenopause or menopause symptoms. A consultation can help you understand what is happening in your body and guide you safely. Have you ever spoken to your GP about menopause? And if so, were you expecting the response that you got? Or did you get a good response from your GP? Did you find it informative? Again, if you want to type any comments and you're still typing, we can come back to answer those shortly. I can see lots of you dropping in. Lovely to see you this evening. Please do stick around. We're talking about menopause and essential oils this evening, so it's not for everybody, but I do hope to provide some informative information for those of you that it does interest. So for the next set, we're going to talk about the oils themselves. They're not just scents, they're allies, and I'll walk you through what I use personally and what I recommend to clients. So we're going to cover the symptoms, then we're going to go to the oil that I would recommend and what it can be used for. So hot flushes is one of the most common symptoms that you get when you reach the menopause. So you've got oils that would be good for that, would be peppermint and clary sage. Now with those, you can mist it on your chest, on your pulse points, you can put it on a cool cloth, and you can do a facial spritz. Because when you get a hot flush, it literally, I mean, I've had some recently, and it literally feels like fire going down my back. And then I can feel the perspiration breaking out on my skin. And it really is, you feel like you're sitting in a sauna. So to have a little facial mist nearby that's nice and cool would be actually quite refreshing. And I'm going to make one up myself. I haven't made one yet. For mood swings, I would recommend geranium and bergamot. Those ones can be diffused during journaling or blending with affirmations, if you do affirmations and things like that. And then you've got your sleep issues, because sleep can be an issue. Lavender for its calming properties, and vetiver can help. It can almost help to seduce you into a sleep. It's got like I can't think of the word. It's brain fog. It's almost like a sedative, vetiver, and you can use that as a pillow spray, or you can have a foot massage before bed. And because of the nature of essential oils, when they're used topically on the skin, the qualities of those oils go in through the dermis and they're absorbed by your body. So not only are you inhaling the aroma, you're getting a double whammy because it's going through your skin as well and into your circulatory system, and it all helps. Fatigue, I would recommend rosemary and grapefruit. Now, rosemary, as I said, you cannot use if you've got high blood pressure, so please avoid it. And I believe grapefruit as well you cannot use with high blood pressure, but I would double check on that. So with those ones, if you've got a diffuser, you can pop them in a diffuser and breathe the air. Sit in the room, do your journaling, have a cuppa, have your breakfast with the diffuser running. Or you could even use it in the shower with the shower steam. And again, you would inhale it and it all helps. Then you've got the dryness downstairs. I would recommend rose and sandalwood, so you can have a diluted external massage around the area and quote some sensual affirmations to help. Then you've got your joint pain. We covered joint pain, well, we covered pain briefly last night. Frankincense and cobaba are very, very good for joint pain, and you can use those as a massage blend with a carrier oil. Now, your carrier oils are things like coconut oil, sweet almond oil, jojoba, apricot seed oil, all those kinds of things. Or if you haven't got any of those, you can use olive oil as a carrier oil to dilute your oils before applying them topically on your skin. For itchy skin, I would recommend chamomile and lavender. And you can do a cooling mist or a balm with aloe vera, which I'm sure you know is extremely cooling. It feels lovely if you're having a hot flush. Then you've got your palpitations, which is another symptom which is quite common with menopause. And for those, I would recommend neroli and lang lang. And you can do a breathwork blend. You can mix up your blend, and you get the little rollerball containers, and you can pop it on your pulse points. All of that helps with palpitations. We've then got depression, which I think comes up in a variety of different scenarios throughout your adult life, and sometimes in your childhood as well, particularly in the menopause. And I would recommend clary sage and frankincense. Frankincense is good for quite a lot of things, and again, I would use that, diffuse it during meditation or journaling, or if you're just sitting, relaxing, having a cuppa, pop it in your diffuser, sit in the same room and just enjoy the aroma that's being wafted around. For UTIs, I would recommend tea tree because it's got properties in it that help with infections, and I would also recommend juniper berry. You should consult your GP first, and you should only ever use these oils externally and with caution. Hello to everybody that's dropping in. I'm not ignoring you. I'm just very, very focused on the content of the live because I've got quite a lot to go through. I've had quite a long day today, so I am using notes as a prompt because I am quite drowsy, but I wanted to make sure that I continued with this live today because I think it is an important topic for all the women out there and for the partners who are supporting them. So if there's any guys in here this evening, thank you very much for dropping in. It's very important that we do support each other when we're in a partnership. So it's not just ladies that I would expect to see in here this evening. I am expecting to see some gents in here as well that are looking for help to support their significant other, if I'll say it like that. So for the cooling spritz, I do have a recipe. So grab a notepad if you've got one, and I will tell you the ingredients that you can use for it. You will just need a little spray bottle. There's a cooling facial mist that I have used when I have a hot flush coming on. It's refreshing, it's soothing, and it's easy to carry in your handbag. So the cooling spritz blend, you would need 60 ml of distilled water or rose hydrosol. Now you can probably get rose hydrosol off of Amazon, and I've got a huge bottle of distilled water from Amazon as well. I don't have rose hydrosol, so for mine I do use distilled water. In that, you then need to put 1 to 2 drops of peppermint essential oil, 1 to 2 drops of clary sage essential oil, And then optional, you can add 1 to 2 drops of lavender. Now I know not everybody likes lavender, which is why this is optional. You then add 1 to 2 teaspoons of witch hazel. Again, this is optional, but it does help to disperse the mist once you've used it. And you need a 60 ml spray bottle. So you would gently shake the mixture before you use it, and then you would just mist it over your face and neck, on your chest when you feel the heat rising. And the oils and the water and the rose hydrosol will help to cool you down and help to disperse that hot flush that you're feeling. What made me wear glasses, I can't read the screen I can't read your comments, and I can't see the screen properly if I haven't got my glasses on. I don't have contact lenses. So with regards to spraying the mist, you can, if you want to, speak an affirmation as you spray it and say, I cool with grace, I flow with ease. So with regards to your menstrual unpredictability, cycles do become irregular. I can go months without a period and then suddenly have one out of nowhere. I still do track my cycle, and I carry towels and spare underwear in my bag, not out of fear, but out of honour. That's part of my ritual now. I've had to change the way I plan my day and everything like that, because the way my body behaves now is different to what I'm used to, and we have to adapt. There's also the bladder changes and emotional support. So since starting the menopause, I have experienced bladder changes. I'm not ashamed of this. It's something that a lot of women do experience. I have had situations where, because of the menopause and my bladder changes, I have wet myself and I felt embarrassed. Now I carry spare leggings and underwear. It gives me peace of mind. Let me have a look. Sorry, 1 minute. View. Sorry, bear with me. Good evening, everybody that's dropped in. It's lovely to see you this evening. There are oils that you can use for bladder changes. So for the purpose of the oil would be nerve calming, and I would recommend Roman chamomile and lavender. And you can pop those in a diffuser before doing pelvic floor exercises, which all mature women should be doing on a regular basis. Now, I spoke to my GP about this recently, and he said to me that I need to make sure I'm doing those pelvic floor exercises. You shouldn't just do them after childbirth. It's something that you should practice for the whole of your life to make sure your pelvic floor is as tight as it needs to be. And that can help to avoid all these changes in your bladder that you do get once you reach the menopause. For muscle tone, you can use cypress and geranium, and you can massage those around your lower abdomen. Again, you need to make sure these are diluted in a carrier oil. For your emotional release, you can use frankincense and clary sage. You can pop those in a diffuser, and you can use those during breath work. And for grounding, you would use vetiver and patchouli. You can apply those diluted to the soles of your feet, or you can wear it as a scent. All of these oils are fantastic when you're going through the menopause, and you should find it helps to relax you, which I think is good. So oils become even more powerful when they're layered with intention. So you can try pairing clary sage with moonstone and the affirmation, I trust my inner tides. Or lavender with amethyst and I rise in divine rhythm. Align blends with moon phases if that's the sort of thing that you're interested in. A new moon for renewal or a full moon for release. So I want to open the space now to everybody that's actually here in the chat. And ask some questions, which I hope that I can get you to respond to. So what is your biggest challenge right now, and what's helped you feel more like you again with regards to the menopause? What's one thing you wish you'd known before that you know now, but you wish you'd known so you could have prepared for it? I'll give everybody a chance to respond. For those that are just dropping in, we are talking about menopause this evening. I'd love to know, I love your feedback. I'd like to know what sort of things that you're experiencing, what challenges you've had, and what things you wish you'd known before you started going through the menopause. Hayley, lovely to see you this evening. I'm just seeing lots of people dropping in. Mewtwo, Bruno, Dird, good to see you. And again, I'll ask, what's your biggest challenge right now with the menopause? What's helped you feel more like you again? Have you got a particular tip that you want to offer other viewers? Things that you found useful? It doesn't even have to be aromatherapy or essential oil related. It can just be another tip if you want. This space is for all of you and for us to share knowledge and ideas, hints and tips. We're all in this together. Everybody is going to be touched by menopause at some time in their life. If it's not you personally, because you're a man, you may have a sister, a cousin, a best friend, a partner, a wife who might be going through it. So if you've popped in and you think, oh, this is menopause, it's not for me, you could help somebody that's close to you by spending time here and getting some tips from other people. So please do drop your comments. What's the one thing you wish you'd known before menopause? And do you have a favourite oil or ritual? Honour it. Share it with all the other viewers. There might be something that you can share with other people that they would find useful. I can see lots of people coming in. Lovely to see you. I can't say hello to all of you because there's quite a few of you. I do welcome your comments, so please do type in chat and I'll answer as many of them as possible. We've got quite a bit of time left, so there's no hurry. It's lovely to see you all in here this evening. We've discussed all the symptoms of menopause, and there are oils that are useful that you can help to provide calm, relaxation, to help with hot flushes and all that kind of thing. I will have a printable guide that I can send to you, so if you pop in chat the word guide, I will then make sure I get a copy sent over for you once I've done the PDF, and it will have all the information that I provided today, along with the oils that I've recommended and the symptoms that they're suitable for. If you need help with the blending, I can do that also. I'm happy to do that. Have you had any embarrassing moments that you'd like to share? As I've said at the beginning, this is a space where I want you to feel comfortable discussing things like this. As I've said, we are all in this together. Everybody is touched by this at some point in their lives. So if there's something that you want, that you've been embarrassed about and you haven't felt comfortable talking about it, now's a good time to do so, because there's no embarrassment here. We are all in this together, and embarrassing things do happen. It's happened to me recently when I was at work and I did feel embarrassed. I was absolutely mortified, if I'm honest, but after I spoke to my doctor, he did reassure me that it was menopause related. It doesn't stop the embarrassment. It does make you feel, I don't even know how I felt. I just know I was mortified. But I think if we make preparations for it, we're prepared. When things like this happen, it makes it a little bit easier to deal with. So now I make sure that my bag is, I have baby wipes in my bag, and I have a change of undergarments if I need it. So when things like that happen, I'm prepared. And it doesn't leave me feeling embarrassed, mortified, dirty or anything like that, because I'm prepared for it. And it's one of the things that I wasn't expecting when I reached this age. I have read a little bit about the menopause. I knew about the hot flushes. I knew about the change in my cycle. I knew about the mood swings. There's lots of things I did know about, but I didn't know about the change in my bladder control. So that was a complete shock to me. And I think that's one of the reasons I was so mortified when it happened, because I wasn't prepared for it. So another thing that I'm hoping that we can get from tonight's live is that more women will be prepared for things that they weren't necessarily prepared for. And it will make it easier when things like this happen. I'm sorry, I don't have translation on here and I can't remember how to set it up. Do bear with me a minute. How do I set translation up on here? I can't remember. Can somebody tell me? Settings. No, can't go into settings. Like 20. I don't have auto translate on, so I can't understand what you're saying, sweetheart. I'm so sorry. Let me see. Sorry, bear with me a moment. My name is Jackie. Lovely to meet you, Dom.
Hi guys, it's Ashley. I will be reading off my computer because this is a complex and sensitive...
Sorry, bear with me a minute. I'm not quite sure who I've got in here, so do drop a hello if you're still in here with me. We're sharing information with regards to the menopause for all those ladies that have reached it, or for all those gents that are trying to support somebody that's going through it. We're all in this together, and this is a safe space to discuss symptoms, embarrassment, anything like that that you've experienced at this stage of your life. I've covered essential oils and things that can be used to help, and I will be compiling a printable guide that, if you'd like a copy of it, just send me, if you just drop the word guide in chat, and then I'll make sure that I get that sent over to you once we're finished today. Okay, just to recap, I'm just going to pop back up to the top. So to recap on the oils that I suggested, if you're experiencing hot flushes, I would recommend peppermint and clary sage. For mood swings, geranium and bergamot. Sleep issues, I would recommend lavender and vetiver. Hi Chloe, lovely to see you this evening. Fatigue, I would recommend rosemary and grapefruit. All of these can be diffused in a diffuser, or you can make up a blend and pop it on your pulse points. For dryness downstairs, you can use rose and sandalwood massaged in the area around it, or you can make up a blend to pop in your diffuser. For joint pain, I would recommend frankincense and cobaba. For itchy skin, it would be chamomile and lavender, which are both calming and help to soothe itchiness. If you're suffering with palpitations, it would be neroli and lang lang. For depression, clary sage and frankincense. For UTIs, it would be tea tree, juniper berry. So all of those, you can make up your own blends with a carrier oil and pop them if you're using a diffuser, you can just pop the oils into the water that's in your diffuser. You don't necessarily need a carrier oil. If you're making up a blend to pop on your pulse points, you do need to dilute the oils in a carrier oil. You should not apply them neat to your skin when using them topically. The recipe for the facial spritz, if you suffer with hot flushes and want something that's going to be instantly soothing when you feel a flush coming on, you would need 60 ml of distilled water or rose hydrosol. You would need 1 to 2 drops of peppermint essential oil, 1 to 2 drops of clary sage essential oil. Lavender is optional. I know a lot of people don't like lavender, but you can put 1 to 2 drops of lavender in if you so wish, and then 1 to 2 teaspoonfuls of witch hazel, which help with the mist itself and help it disperse quickly. And then you would need your 60 ml spray bottle. You can pick those up on Amazon. So you will pop it all into the bottle, and you shake gently before each use, and then you mist it over your face and your neck and your chest when you do feel the heat rising. And if you're into affirmations, you could speak an affirmation while you're doing it and say, I cool with grace, I flow with ease. And hopefully that would help to take the edge off of that hot flush when it hits you. And with regards to the bladder changes and emotional support, there was some nerve calming oils that I recommended, which are Roman chamomile and lavender. And if you're hopefully you're doing your pelvic floor exercises, which we should all be doing regardless of whether we've just had a child or not, you can pop those into a diffuser and just sit in the room with them while you're doing your pelvic floor exercises. And yeah, hopefully that can help with the nerve calming. For your muscle tone, it was cypress and geranium. For emotional ease, frankincense and clary sage. Grounding would be vetiver and patchouli. As I've said with all the previous ones, they can be popped into a diffuser and you sit in the room and you breathe them in while you're doing whether you're doing journaling or you're just sitting having a cup of tea. Make sure you're doing your pelvic floor exercises while you're sitting. If you look up pelvic floor exercises on the NHS, it will give you a breakdown of which ones are good for you. Or if you prefer, you can speak to a nurse or a GP, and they may even give you a sheet that you can follow with pelvic floor exercises on it. Okay, so thank you to everybody for being here. You've shown up for yourself, and that's sacred. If you've shown up for other people, that's brilliant, and I do praise you for doing so. That's a very nice thing for you to do. May your body be honoured, your symptoms softened, and your spirit held. Do direct message me if you'd like a printable guide, the brain fog replay, or a private chat, and I'm happy to do so. I don't speak any other languages, I'm afraid, so I would need to use a translator if you don't speak English. Please remember, you're not alone in this. You are becoming. This is just a phase in our the evolution of our bodies, and it's just a phase that we're going through. And I think if we embrace it, it makes it easier to come to terms with the fact that our bodies are changing and we're the end of the childbearing age. I know when I had my children, I did often think to myself, one day I'm not going to be able to have children anymore. But I used to think, oh, that's a long way off. And before I knew it, that was here, and I was starting to go through you hit puberty when you're a teenager, and then you've got a very, very long window for a lot of people before you hit menopause. Some people do hit it early, and they have early onset menopause. Some people hit it later in life. But you always think you've got plenty of time before you go through it. And before you know it, it's there. And unless you've properly looked into it, some of the symptoms can suddenly sneak up on you and you think, I wasn't expecting that. That's been the case for me. And I think that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this evening, because the menopause is a very hot topic. Obviously, there's thousands and millions of women that go through it. Then you've got the millions of the people that support those women. So it's not just for women. Men can refer to this too and support the women they know that are going through this. If you've got somebody that's close to you that has been suffering and you think that this might be useful for them, when I pop it up on my TikTok, tag them in it. They might find it useful. They might want to try essential oils to see if it can solve some of the symptoms that they're experiencing. As I've said at the beginning, it's not for everybody. I'm not expecting everybody to suddenly try essential oils because I've said they're good. I'm not saying it's a cure. Aromatherapy is a complementary therapy, which means you use it in addition to Western treatments. I'm not suggesting you replace your current medication or whatever it is you're on, but essential oils and aromatherapy can actually help support those, enhance those, help give you calm, help bring you peace. The aroma of them is amazing. They help with relaxation. There's so many qualities that you get from essential oils, and it's natural because they come from plants. I don't think there's much more I can cover on the menopause this evening. So unless anybody's got any questions, I am going to close off now. I want to say thank you to everybody for dropping in, even those of you that didn't stick around for very long. It's always very nice to see people dropping in. Sorry if I didn't say hello to you all. I was quite in the zone, concentrating on my notes to make sure I didn't lose the flow, because I've had quite a long day today and I am quite tired. So I do apologise if I did not personally greet you. Tomorrow I've got another live coming up. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been vanilla, maybe. But I will be doing another one later in the week where it's not no particular comment. So you can just drop in. We could just have a chat, a hangout, chill zone where we can just talk about anything, and everybody's welcome to that. So I look forward to seeing you for that. But for now, I'm going to say have a lovely rest of the day. Look after yourself. Be kind to yourself. Rest. Drink plenty of fluid. And thank you very much for joining. Love to all of you, and I will see you on my next live. Good night.